What's up, geeks and gamers? It's Jeremy coming to you with another video, and today we are talking about SJWs. Why? Because they have to ruin everything. If people are happy, if something is successful, if generally everyone's loving it, it's getting good reviews, the sales are good, what do? They have to make everyone else's life miserable because their life is miserable. So, Spider-Man PS4 doing really well. Across the board. I've covered that, so I'm not going to get too far into that. But what happens when something's doing good? Oh, Kotaku and their SJW purple hair writer, Heather Alexandra, has to come in and ruin it. So, Spider-Man's take on police feels out of touch.
Spider-Man's take on police feels out of touch. So we have to get in and ruin it.
So, this is a very important issue. So, if there is an epidemic going on, and there's, a number of people being killed, then we have to use video games as the platform to tell that story, right? Because the statistics tell us that's what's going on, right? I want you to remember that as we get a little further into this. We're going to follow the statistics. And if the statistics tell us there's an epidemic, we damn sure got to get woke in our video games, y'all. So let's get woke. All right, Heather, let's talk about it. So, Spider-Man's take on police feels out of touch. I'm just going to point out a few things that this person says in this article. It says police are an unimpeachable group in Spider-Man. They show no real flaws, and they make no mistakes. These are so unrealistic. And in the end it says, without fail.
Without fail. Every convict is violent and aggressive.
Oh, how dare them portray convicts as violent and aggressive? My gosh. I mean, what, do you want them to be planting flowers? I mean, good God. How do you get this dumb? How does this happen in your life to where you get this dumb? Like, I really want to know. Moving on. Spider-Man's simple presentation of crime and policing feels tone deaf in the modern age when more and more people are growing aware of the class and race dynamics of policing. This isn't to suggest the game needs to take a break every 10 minutes to do info dump real world stats, but games are released in the context of the time. We're in a post-Edward Snowden, living in the age of Black Lives Matter. So, let me repeat this one more time, okay? Games are released in the context of their time. Games are released in the context of their time. Therefore, we have to follow the real-world statistics, and we have to tell everybody what's going on in the real world. It don't matter if you don't want to hear it. You need the truth. The truth shall set you free. So let's talk about the truth. So, your little problem here is that we're not taking on the real issues going on in the world today. Is that correct? Okay, so let's talk about the real issues there. Heather, let's see. All right, this is the Washington Post. And it says that police fatally shot 987 people last year, or 24 more than killed in 2016, blah, 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 blah. While many of the year-to-year patterns remain consistent, the number of unarmed black males killed in 2017 declined from 2 years ago. Last year, police killed 19 unarmed black men were killed by police. Okay, so that's obviously not good. We would never want to see that. That number should be 0. But I have a spoiler alert for everyone. Okay? Spoiler alert. Humans are not perfect. Not one single human is a perfect human being. Therefore, when you get a group of thousands and thousands and thousands of human beings together, guess what? That group's not going to be perfect either. But police, statistically speaking, are the majority, the heavy majority of them are exceptional at their job. And we don't want to see one unnecessary death. That is definitely the case. But my question is, Kotaku, you're here to get into the real world, right? the real world and the modern times, right? We want to cover modern epidemics, even if it's not something you want to hear. And maybe people will laugh at us, but we're going to stand tall. We're going to stand tall for the truth. Is that correct, Kotaku? Okay, let's talk about the truth. So again, 19 unarmed black men killed in 2017. Again, 19 too many. I completely understand that, and it's horrible. And the people that committed these situations, they need to be fully investigated. Every situation is different, so you can just kiss off with all of the stuff that you want to sit there and run your mouth about. So here's a problem right here. The deadliest animals in the U.S. Average annual animal case death in 2000 from 2001 to 2013. 58 people, 58 innocent people were killed by bees, wasps, and hornets. That's an average per year. That's not accumulation of 2001 to 2000. That's an average per year. So 58 unarmed, innocent people were killed by bees, wasps, and hornets. Other mammals, 52. So that raises the number right there. That raises it to 110 people. 110 people. Then you add dogs into it, 138. Then you add cows into it, 158. Then you want to add non-venomous. You want to add spiders. You want to add snakes. You want to add lizards. You want to add sharks and bears. We're almost up to 200 innocent people are dying by animal-related deaths a year. Kotaku, why don't you write an article and you need to hold Spider-Man and Insomniac accountable because they're not being honest with us. Spider-Man's just running around the city. Spider-Man is running around the city. There are innocent people running around the city. Meanwhile, bees, wasps, and hornets are flying around. And 58 people died last year from bees, wasps, and hornets. Yet Spider-Man's not addressing the issue. How does he live with himself? How do the developers in this modern time, again, from 2001 to 2013, 58 people on average every single year are dying from bees, wasps, and hornets. Why are we not addressing this issue? This is the modern time, okay? You have a responsibility, Insomniac. You have a responsibility to address the issues. And I'll be damned if I stand by and let a video game come out and not address the bees, wasp, and hornets issue. So Kotaku, I see you, man. I hear you. You care so much. This ain't about social justice. This ain't about being woke. This is about doing what's right. So I want you to write an article tomorrow that addresses the bees, wasp, and hornet epidemic and how Spider-Man grossly ignored this issue. Grossly. How can they live with themselves? Kotaku, I'm sure you're going to do this. I'm sure you're going to do this because you are very plugged into the modern times. 2001 to 2013, 58 people a year are dying. Bees, wasps, and hornets. Spider-Man doesn't mention this. Spider-Man, the hero, and he doesn't even mention it. How the hell? How can this person be a hero? Dropping the sarcasm now. The point is, if you want to make a big deal of stuff, you can. These SJWs do it all the time. This is stupidity. Again, I do not support unarmed people being murdered by the police. And it's horrible, and the people should be investigated. But I firmly stand with the police. Firmly stand with the police. Because 99% of them are great at their job, and they do a job that I don't want to do myself. And they are the first people I call when I need something. And that's how it's always going to be. And it's just that simple. So Kotaku, you're idiots. This person, Heather, I think was the name. You're an idiot. But I'm sure you and your purple hair are a joy when you get pulled over by the police. I'm sure you're very rational. I'm sure you're very respectful. I'm sure you put both hands on the wheel. I'm sure you spread both fingers, just out of respect to, for the cop. I'm sure you do all these things. I'm sure you're not just sitting there yelling and screaming and causing just a ton of problems and heightening the situation. I'm sure you're very, very, very calm. I'm sure you are. So I look forward to the Bees, Wasps, and Hornets article from Kotaku. Spider-Man Insomniac, your game is super successful. So you have a responsibility to address this issue in the sequel. You have a responsibility. Modern times, 58 people a year dying. Modern times. You guys have a great day. Talk to you later.